Good afternoon. Happy spring break if you are spring breakers, but you may be in the next couple of weeks, but this is the month of spring break. Guys, we are so excited that you are going to be on this call or you'll be watching the recording. I myself am in Maryland, and if you guys don't know who I am, I'm Stacy. We're in the middle of spring break right now, and everybody knows Susie. And bless Susie's heart right now, she's just a little bit under the weather, but we are still here and we are still showing up, and we are just so thankful. I'm so thankful to have this community. And I think that's really what I want to start off with is just gratitude. And kind of tying in with the whole spring break thing right now is that, like, right now I'm in the thick of spring break and I've had to tweak my schedule a little bit as a hairdresser and as a body partner. So I'm just working in these pockets, but right now I really want to have that balance and have that time with my kids and that downtime with them. And I'm finding that if I wasn't in this community, it would have been very easy to brush off, having my Shakeology. It would have been very easy to brush off pressing play. It would have been very easy to be like, you know what, I'll just, I'll come back to it after I get back from spring break. I just really want to enjoy myself. And I've used that line a lot back in the day. More importantly, when Ryan was born, because Beachbody wasn't part of my world in 2009, it was part of my world in 2015 and current. So it was very easy to say, I'll come back after break. And I just kind of found myself in those times enjoying spring break, but having this guilt of why am I doing that? And then I would come back into my wellness and I would just feel, I don't know, like a little antidote and a little sprinkle of shame where I knew I could have done it. And if I just had that accountability and that ownership. And now what's so great is that, in the beginning, you build that. I think the first result is building that muscle of discipline, just to show up. And here's the deal. Showing up is not showing up to be perfect. Showing up is showing up in your truth. And we've seen a lot of that in our community lately. I just want to acknowledge some huge shout outs to some epic people, and you know who you are. You're coming in here and you're just owning it. And I see that, and we see you, and I'm like, that's real to me. And I like that because it makes me feel like my real is real too. So discipline is not about the perfection. Discipline is about just showing up and owning whatever it is that is on your heart, So spring break for me has been about getting up and still, having my energize, having my morning routine, getting my walk in and pressing play, and then going about my day. And and that's the way I like it. Some people like afternoon workouts and all these things, but I feel like too, as long as you get something done, you should be excited about that. And you should be okay with that and building that happiness muscle, right? Because if we build the shame muscle, we start to go back and we start to not show up and we start to be small. And nobody in here is small. Nobody is in a box and nobody's baby in the corner, like we say in Dirty Dancing. We all, honestly, you guys, and I know we have all seen this movie, and you know how Patrick Swayze comes up and says, nobody puts baby in a corner. You guys actually are all that version of Patrick Swayze. You're saying, I'm not putting myself in the corner. And by you posting and by you showing up, your hand is grabbing somebody else by your post. Does that make sense? So I just really want to share that. That was really on my heart. I like to tie things in that are relatable, that we know, and it makes sense. So for me, I'm just really grateful that I'm sitting here on spring break and I'm with my kids, and I've gotten my workout in, I've gotten my walk in, and when I'm driving to work, I'm going to have my nutrition, and it really empowers me. And I just really wanted to start off and just say thank you to everybody who is being real and honoring themselves. And if maybe you haven't shown your face lately in the community, and you're a scroller, I encourage you this week to pop in and just say something. Even if you show a picture of your cup, it's showing us that you're here, and that matters. So I'm going to mute real quick. I'm going to turn it over to Susie.
So funny that you say that, Stacy, because I actually want to talk about the same thing. Obviously, we both talked about what we're going to bring to the table today. And I'm sorry that I'm so hoarse, but I am on the same page with Stacy. I am right now starting my spring break. I have my little one home sick today, but my big one has 2 weeks off. And I love that you bring that up, Stacy, because I am leaving on a cruise on Sunday. And in the past, I would have never worked out on a cruise. I would have never taken my Shakeology or any type of supplements to stay on track. I would have self-indulged to the point where you're right, Stacy, that shame muscle starts, becoming
Flexing. It
very
starts
loud.
flexing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it starts becoming very loud. Ever since I joined, like you, Stacy, in 2015, I have learned these habits about that even when I'm on vacation, it is okay to take your supplements that make you feel amazing. It is okay to carve out 15, 20 minutes and do a workout, whether sometimes I walk around the ship because they have that track that you could walk for runners. Sometimes I go to the gym. Sometimes I just will, if I stop in an island, I'll go for like a quick little jog just to try to stay active because it's easy on a cruise ship to be lounging all day, which is fine.
Yeah.
I'm going to rest, but it is also okay to continue my wellness habits on vacation because they do set me up for success. So I will be taking my supplements and I will absolutely be doing something, whether it's a walk, whether it's going to the gym and just doing light stretching, whatever it is, I am going to absolutely stay active, even though I'm on vacation. So if there's, if I feel like if that is something that we can gift you ladies, now that Stacy and I have been on our journey for 7 years, for those of you that are starting out, take this gift and run with it. Because once you start creating those habits, you start flexing that muscle that Stacy talked about, discipline. And one of the things that I took away that was very amplified for me yesterday, while I was doing day 2 of the 21-day super block, was that Autumn said, discipline determines your success. And that quote really spoke to me because when I am disciplined in my supplements, when I am disciplined in eating whole foods, when I am disciplined in working out or moving my body, then that determines my success. That determines how I feel. That determines how I perform. And it radiates into all the crevices of my life. And I agree also with what Stacy's saying about the happiness muscle. So if you are not aware, we have just started, with body, this transition from Beachbody to Body. We have just started implementing this mindset component, this mindset pillar, and you all have access to it. I went ahead and I dove deep into it to see what was the topic for the month. Coincidentally, Stacy talked about happiness and a happiness muscle. And that is what the theme is this month. So Petra Kober, which is our new VP of Personal Development and Mindset, gave a master class, 20 minutes in your body app, all about happiness. And let me tell you, I already listened to the first 3 videos, which are short. They're like more or less average 10 minutes, and they were phenomenal. I took away so many quotes that I want to just give you one. One of them was, she said, you learn it to teach it, you live it to preach it. I thought that was great because if we could learn happiness habits, we could teach it to our loved ones, we could teach it to people we come in contact with. But when you actually live it, you get to preach that with how you go about your day, what, how your life just unfolds. And I thought it was so amazing because, there's literally a notebook of quotes that you could take with you and choose to wake up every day and say, I'm going to tap into that happiness muscle. And I'm going to go ahead and read it. Furthermore, in the 19-minute masterclass, she provides a PDF, and it's called Happiness Habit 1, and it's all about priming ourselves. For those of you that know who Tony Robbins is, he has this big priming practice about how you should be starting every day, priming yourself, priming your mind how you want to feel, which is very similar to what Stacey was sharing, how she primes her day before she goes to work, how I prime my day with my faith practice before I start my day, right? And she talks about a couple of things we can do, like writing 3 positive things about ourselves. What about 3 things we look forward to? What I loved even more was she even talked about priming your space. And I noticed that Stacey talks about her space a lot. She doesn't have a lot of space right now, being that she's living with her mom. I, in turn, have a garage, and it doesn't matter how much space you have, but it's about how you feel in that space, right? Stacey talks about organizing her weights. I, in turn, feel like if I want to have a clean space with my bench and my mat. But I love the way Petra shares with us how we can have photos of gratitude, power quotes, maybe a soundtrack or music, maybe plants, scents. Stacey and I both thrive using candles. I actually have my candle on right now because it sets the tone. She goes into asking high-powered questions, doing reflections in your journal, really finding your flow, maybe setting a timer, thinking about your best possible future self, which we talk about that a lot. Stacey talks about that a lot too, as I do. When you do your wellness practice, are you doing it for you today, or are you doing it for your future self? Which is really what matters, right? Because it's about the longevity and the quality of life. And then she talks about carving out 2 hours per week that maybe you can sit down and for 15 minutes each day, really think about your health esteem, which encompasses, your nutrition, your mindset, and your fitness, and how you can kind of just set this little appointment 15 days a day, maybe even do it together with a best friend or a colleague, and kind of think about how you want to find your flow. How do you want to set up these gratitude practices, priming your space, priming your mind, so that you can flex that happiness muscle, which Stacey tapped into. It's a beautiful, beautiful PDF that really gives you a guideline. And she ends it with another quote that says, life is like a camera. Focus on what's important, capture the good times, develop from the negatives, and if things don't work out, just take another shot. So I want to leave you with that. I think it's a gift to have something like mindset and having things that can really help us center ourselves and align ourselves with how we want to feel, how we want to, look at discipline, how we want to look at happiness, and how we want to prime ourselves so that we can become our best version. So that is what I have for you, Stacey. Anything else you want to share with them before we close it out?
You struck a chord, and I just thought about, are you working out for today or are you working out for tomorrow? And that really stood out. And I will tell you, I think in the beginning, I was working out for the today. And what I mean by that back in 2015 was like to get into those jeans, like just strictly to be skinny. And although there's nothing wrong with that goal, I think maturity has grown over the years, and I do it for the tomorrows. And I've been on both sides. And just coming out of like, this is the months that I go and get all my annuals done. and everything by the grace of God checked out perfect. Thank you. But every time I get worried, because we all have that little, now what pops into my brain is, well, wait a minute. You have put yourself in a category of less likely because you have stayed committed to consistency. And now I go into those appointments for my tomorrows, still nervous because we're human, but I'm way more empowered because I know I'm backing it up with this insurance policy of, damn, I've done good hard work. Damn, I've had nutrition. I've pressed play. I've had my water. I've shown up. That is going to count in this moment. And so, those are gone. And now we're going to keep, every day is a healthy day. But it's like, I now am like, okay, I'm a little more confident each year now. So I don't know. I just wanted to share that because I know some people might be in it for the today. And that is okay. But I hope that in time, by the discipline muscle, you get over to the tomorrow, because the tomorrow does take care of the today as well,
Yes.
but it just deepens it. So,
Yes,
but
I
it
agree.
that just really stood out for me when you said that. And I was
I
like,
agree.
that's
I
good,
agree. I think so too. I look at my journey as well, that I started out just to lose the weight,
Yeah.
but now I do it for the future Susie, for the
Yeah.
mom that I want to be when my kids need me, when they're off to college, when they're having their babies, during the hard, like that's what I think about. Do
Me
I want
too.
to be here for longevity, to be here with my spouse and enjoy my future self in a good place, in a healthy place, in a mentally and emotionally stable place? And that starts with what we do today, but it, really gives us the fruit for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Good call. I
Super.
can't wait for people to watch our recording.
I agree. All right. So let's enjoy the rest of our spring break.
Yes.
You girls know where to find us. Continue to crush your goals. Stacey and I see you. We feel that you are empowering one another when you show up. And I cannot wait to see what more we're going to do. So that's what we have for you for Tribe Time. Happy Wednesday. And we'll talk to y'all soon. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.